Alrighty. Let me get on my phone here first and make sure I put it to my groups, because I'm starting a few minutes early, actually. This is going to be the weekly healing messages for September 29th through October 5th. And I did put it out for a few people to catch it, but I didn't decide until an hour before I was going to do it that I was doing it live. So I'm not going to waste too much time waiting. But I do want to post it to some of my groups real fast. And then we'll get started, whether people are in here or not. All right. Energy is deep in here too, boy. Bring it, but please bring it at a level that I'm not knocked out. Yeah, I'm talking to spirit. Well, my kitty. Hold on, like I said, I want to put it on a few groups first, and then I'll go out and put it on other groups later. I try to put it to my 3 main ones before I start the video so it can be found easier. All right. I can't see because I have the video a little farther away. Like, I can see your face, Danny, but a lot of the people, I can't see their face as they start to pop up. And I always want to tell everybody, I do apologize for not speaking to you, but that's because if I start really getting into the conversation, I'll mess up the channeling, or I'll mess up some of what I'm supposed to be saying. Hi, Mr. Napatoni, my kitty. But, and for some strange reason, I am being told today, this is my sulfur. And before I even get started, I am sharing some of its energy out on the video for positive energy and to make sure all that negativity is being knocked out for this video. So, I'm sending its love out to you. Because, boy, the energy in here is off the chain at the moment. Thank you, my darling. Let me get a drink, and then I'm going to get started. Because when spirit comes in, it tends to make it really hot, and you get thirsty. Spirit is saying before I even get started, obviously this is October. This is September 29th through October 5th of the weekly healing messages. And before I get started, they're saying pay attention to Scorpio and Juno. This is Mercury energy has gone into shadow, but it is now in Scorpio. Now, I was saying with Aries that the energies that are going on in Aries is kind of like Vegas, like what they say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So go ahead and do all the wrong you want to do, but it'll stay there. But that's not really ever the truth, is it? And Spirit gives me, when I was saying Aries energy with Mars and Lilith and Pluto, not Pluto, Mars, Lilith, and Eris, which is who I always call Medusa, was more like Amsterdam, with all the sexual funky shit coming out. Let me just put it to you this way. You have the darkness coming out of the woodwork, sneaking up on you from every angle. But there's a very big positive here. A very big positive. Because the righteous lion has entered the playing field. Spirit tells me that this week is full of you finding if you are really, truly coming into your um into your alignment of soul or not. And The righteous lion versus a savage lion will be the one that is reminding you as if you are on the right side of the playing field for your own life, because it is full of righteousness or savageness. Spirit also tells me you will need strength of will this week. And then they said to go deeper. I like to say all the time, free will is a bitch, because strength of will is free will. Well, what is free will? Free will is freedom. It's the freedom to take the power of your own will and will it to be so. So what do you do with that freedom when you have it? And how are you going to act appropriately or inappropriately? There are always actions and reactions for everything. Spirit gives me the song Savage Love and I Will Rise Up. And what they're doing is they're putting it on two sides of my shoulders. You know, like you've seen the cartoons where like the angel is on one side and the devil is on the other. And what's funny about this is they're giving me the song Savage Love, and it would be the evil one. And then, I will rise up. But then they're flipping places. And that's because will you rise up for the right or for the wrong? And Savage Love, the song itself, has a trick to it. See, it's vibrationally upbeat, but the words is not exactly high vibrational. So what they're giving me to help me understand this is they give me a lion with a crown, which has everything to do with Venus this week. And I'm going to get into explaining the actual astrology here in a minute. But what they're giving me is a lion with a crown that's coming in, like the righteous lion. And then they're also giving me what looks like a baboon sneaking up on you from a tree branch. And that would be the evil sneaking up on you. But what I'm getting with it as I get the song Rise Up and Savage Love, as they start switching places, they start to fade away. And then what comes in is the lion and the crown and then the baboon on a branch sneaking up. But I'm specifically getting with the baboon. That sixth house. And that sixth house has everything to do with where Venus is. And the sixth house is the people, places, and things of energies that you consume, because you're not really consuming them. They're consuming you. It's the people, places, and things of energies that are in your life. And are they supporting you in healthy, positive ways, or are they not? And what I'm getting is that baboon sneaking up the branch with the idea behind the monkey of I hear no, see no, or I hear no, see no, and speak no evil. But with them sneaking up, will you? Then I am reminded, all right, when you look at the idea of the righteous lion, this could come from Bible verses. This could come from source energy. It comes from many different ideas of spiritual energy, however it is that you want. You can even look at it in astrology as the Leo sign is the royalty of the sign. Of all of the signs, out of the 12, it would be the royalty. But it's not where I always connect the higher self. But the lion is connected with that righteous energy, which brings us to Leo. I'm going to say something that other signs may understand, but I'm going to tell you, Leos are no stranger to adversity. And a Leo will understand this maybe better than the rest, but if I put it this way, you will all understand it. A lion does not need to be defended by you, because a lion will defend itself. there is your righteous lion. But is it defending righteously or not? It all depends on if it's in alignment with your soul or if it is not. And are you being tricked into being confused as to what is in alignment? All right, this week you have a butt ton of energy in astrology. Saturn is going direct on the 29th. Now, you already had Jupiter go direct. And on the 4th of October, Pluto goes direct. I've been saying those three energies in Capricorn is like, like a train hitting a brick wall. Like, boom, everything stopped. And that's your outer world. That's your outer foundation. Your outer foundation is being shoved down your freaking throat of going, well, what is going on? This is why Spirit is saying with that baboon sneaking up, people, places, and things of energies that consume you become you. So what are you allowing yourself to become? What are you allowing to be part of your life? Because that movement in Capricorn is like null and void. It's like not moving. It's in that big moment of clarification and reflection. It is now Libra season, which is all about relationships. Not to mention you have Haumea and Make also in Libra, which is the lotus flower and the collective consciousness, along with the sun illuminating these relationships. And the relationships always begin with you, because if you weren't part of the relationship, then why would you fucking care about it? So this has to do with your collective consciousness of your part that's being played within these relationships. Is it being illuminated to the true value of who and what you are? Or are you setting yourself apart and not really, are you devaluing yourself within these relationships, or are you being valued within these relationships? Where is the collective consciousness within these relationships? And are you on the lotus flower of its growth? Are you still in the freaking swamp and you can't find any light, so you continue to go down the same road over and over and over again? Or are you starting to break through that frothy middle land where you're bobbing and you can see there is an above and below? Or are you stretching for the sky? So many people out there have been complaining about 2020. This has been a horrifying year. You know what? It's been one of the best years of my life. I've had nothing but good things happen to me. And I'm not saying that all of you have had the same situations, but if you're working on yourself, you get rewarded. But sometimes before you start getting rewarded, you really have to get into some of your dingy inside clutter. Mercury is now in shadow in Scorpio, like I was saying in the beginning, because Spirit was bringing that to my attention, because a lot of people are going to leave out Juno is here. And Juno is the sacrifice and the commitment it takes within a relationship for it to develop and bloom into something that's worthwhile saving and keeping. Juno is sacrificing commitment. So what is sacrificing commitment to you? Because you've got to remember, sometimes sacrifice is not about what you'll give up, but what about what you'll get? It's not about sacrificing yourself for somebody else. It's saying also that you need to claim yourself. Because the Scorpio speaks to us of sexuality. But Scorpio also speaks to us of life, death, and rebirth. It's also the 8th house, which is the rules, the rules and the walls and the boundaries in the relationships. And are they set right? Taking you right back to the relationships. And if you need to shift these rules, walls, and boundaries so that they can be set right, so that they can bloom. Do you have the right relationships? Are the same relationships pulling you from yourself? Spirit's been giving me all week, for the last 2 weeks, Judas energy. And Judas energy for me is not speaking about an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth and getting back at them. It's about going, is the Judas in your life keeping you from going where you need to go? Because he's actually filling you with a distraction that's pulling you away from everything you aspire to be, where you get caught up in it. This is a case that takes us right back to our relationships. And any and everything you care about, you have a relationship with. You have a relationship with your family, your children, your friends, your husband, your spouse, you know what I'm saying, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. You have a relationship with your working environment, and I do not know how many times I can say you have a relationship with your money. When you have no money, you know about that relationship with the lack of the money. When you have no transportation, you know about that relationship. Any and everything you care about, you have a relationship with. So are the boundaries and the rules set up to help you grow, but at the same time, fairly, because it can't only be all about me, 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 me. Scorpio is also about sexuality, and this speaks to us about, you know, how are you feeling about yourself? That brings your sacral chakra in. This speaks to us about the sacral chakra, how you feel about yourself, which ultimately leads you to your solar plexus, where you have the will to will it to be so. And Scorpio is funny, it's fickle. And it is like, yeah, it's like a night in Vegas too. Like, I liked you last night and I married you and we were great, but now that I'm sober, get out of my life. It's that cold, that quick, and that dry. It's that blunt. But that doesn't make it bad. That just makes it honest and upfront and blunt. You also have the full moon. Now, the full moon, it's its own humdinger. It's going to be in Aries, and I'm going to come back for that. Venus is going into Virgo on the 2nd. This is Friday. And this energy is going to be marinating with the energy coming off of that full moon. This is where that righteous lion is. Because Venus is coming out of Leo and it's going into Virgo. Now, I don't know how many times I keep telling you all that the Regulus star is no longer in Leo, but I believe Vista is. Regulus is now in the very beginning, the first 10 degrees, I believe, of Virgo. And the moon will be, not the moon, Venus will be crossing over this as it goes from Leo into Virgo and it starts traveling through. Right there is your righteous lion, because you still have Vista in Leo. That is the soul fire in the Leo, in the lion. Then you have in the 6th house, the people, places, and things of energies that you consume become you, has Regulus here. That's the heart of the lion. That's the righteous lion sitting with Venus, bringing these two together into the righteous lion that is speaking out and asking you, are you being a savage or are you being righteous? I'm going to go over that in just a moment. Pluto, like I said, is going to be going direct on the 4th, and Sirius is something nobody's going to be talking about. And I notice people get me confused, because sometimes I talk about the Sirius star throughout the year, but I'm not talking about the Sirius star. I'm talking about Sirius. Sirius is the threefold. She's karma, and she's in Aquarius. Sirius is also too close to home and under the belt. Okay, but in Aquarius, the inner rebel, the inner thinker, the inner inspirer, to be the water bearer, to understand the higher waters. This is a time of innovation. She's giving you the karmic lesson to learn how to grow and aspire to make it so, as well as give you the innovation and the not rebellious, but maybe the rebel within, to have the courage to try that something new. Because that isn't talking to anybody, but that alone is powerful. Now, on October the 1st, you have the full moon in Aries at 5:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Is technically its highest point of its full moon. Now, here's the thing. The moon, Mars, the moon, Mars, Lilith, and Eris. It's like your inner evil. Trouble, toil, strife, injustice. Medusa. Lilith, fire, all about me and only me. Aries, New moon, me first energy, and does it suit me? And is it going to be something I can go with and grow upon, or fuck it and let's let it go? Very fight and flight energy. Then you have Mars here, which is your warrior. Just trying to figure out how to maneuver this in a positive way, so that he's actually building a security for the new foundation that you're creating, because it's not getting along with any of that energy in Capricorn that's standing still facing you down. It's your inner face off. It's also not getting along with the sun, and the sun, which is in Libra. I started to say sun in Lilith. The sun in Libra, which is saying you have to see you for who you are. Because if you can't see you for who you are, how the fuck do you think anybody else ever is going to? Because if you can't be the real you, don't be mad when somebody else can't see the real you. It's up to you to figure out who you are and to be responsible for your actions, to be responsible for what you've done and who you're trying to create yourself to be. And if it needs to have some characteristics cleaned up, then that's your responsibility to do that, not to point it out to everybody else, because there's going to be mirroring in those relationships coming back at you, showing you both where you're wrong in these relationships. Because, like I said, it's all about collective consciousness and the level of the growth of the lotus flower. And then, where are these rules and walls set properly for the proper people, places, and things in your life, and relationships of people, places, and things in your life, so that you can move forward in a proper way? Are you righteous, or are you a savage? Not to mention, as we start feeling this energy of that full moon, it's going to go from the 1st through the 5th. Now, the full moon is 1st through the 4th. The full moon actually takes place on the 1st. But as we come off of that, that moon is going to cross into Taurus energy with Uranus. And like I said, it's not getting along with Capricorn's outer foundations that are being placed upon you, forcing you to stand in your own spot and have reflection about how and what you're going to allow in your life. Uranus in Taurus only wants the best of the fucking best. It wants heaven here on earth. But if it can't get it, that independence, individuality, uniqueness, and freedom, and self-worth, self-value, and self-esteem, it will start acting dominant and pushing it around to try to force you to give it to it. And this is why I said savage versus righteousness. Because you will see other people who cannot come into their power get extra jealous, extra pushy, extra, in your face, because they're losing their power. Well, that's their fucking problem. It's time for them to go home and do their own work. I'm talking to you guys. You do your work, and then let them learn on their own time. But that inner baboon is sneaking up to try to throw you off. Because, like I said, Uranus with the moon is going to be getting into your emotional depths within your independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. And when it cannot get what it's trying to get, it becomes controlling and possessive. So, are you the one who has the power over you? Can you possess the power of you? Or is someone else possessing it for you? All week long, what you have going for you, which is the righteous lion, is, like I said, Venus is coming out of Leo and moving into Virgo, going over the Regulus star, putting, with Vesta still in Leo, kind of bringing Leo and Virgo into the heart of the lion. People, places, things, and energies that you consume become you. But Venus here is going to give it extra sensitivity to go, this is right and this is wrong and this is fucking why. And Vista in Leo is strengthening the creativity of helping you to illuminate yourself. It is getting along fabulously with that moon in Aries. It is getting along fabulously with Mars and Lilith and all of that. Not necessarily Uranus, but as it goes through that full moon, it is getting along with it perfectly. You know why? Because the full moon is all about release, surrender, and let it fucking go. So it's telling you how to love yourself again by learning through your mistakes. By learning where your trouble, toil, and strife keep you pointing fingers at everybody else instead of yourself, or keep walking down the same damn cycle over and over and over again. Venus is not love. Venus teaches you how to love yourself right by acknowledging where you've been loved wrong. We're talking about 5th and 6th house, talking to that 1st house, coming into understanding who you are, the core, the illumination, the shine, and how you're viewed. If you're not viewed the way that you want to be viewed, well, that's your fault. If you're not seen by the people that are in your life the way that you should be being seen, that's because you're not showing that. Or you've given the wrong impression of yourself. You're setting impressions that last lifetimes. You need to learn how to set them. I need to see my paperwork, son. It is also getting along great with Mercury and Scorpio. So if it's hitting below the belt, this Venus lion, it's either showing you where you're learning the lesson and applaud, or it's going to be roaring in your face, showing you where you're too much in your own head, you're too much in your own ego, and where you're about to do the same thing over and over again, and where that righteous lion will have nothing to do with you, because you need to get right with you. It's also speaking with Mercury in shadow. Remember, Mercury is in shadow. It's only looking at the darker aspects. This is the time to learn some deep freaking self-love and illuminate self-love, self-worth, self-value, and some freaking self-esteem. But for righteous reasons, not savage ones. It's also getting along great with Gemini and that North Node, which is Rahu. Everything you need to learn in order to move forward in life starts with how you communicate with yourself. Because if you can't communicate with yourself well, don't expect anybody else to ever understand you. I love you guys. Bye.